Hey everybody, come join me today as we discuss all things food preservation. It is my first official video of the Three Rivers Pantry Challenge of 2025. I'm going to do a little introduction for those who are not familiar with me or my channel and bring you along to meet my goofy husband. I'm going to show you all the things that we made today and just give you an idea of how we use food and make the most of it. So come join us. Let's get started. Hey everybody, welcome to my channel, Livin' Forgiven, formerly Kelly's Prepping Kitchen. I am Kelly and I am here to talk to you today about a challenge that's going on for the next 2 months. It's called the Three Rivers Challenge. It's a pantry challenge in the months of January and February. And no matter what your reason is, what your lifestyle is, everybody is welcome to join. It was started by Jessica with Three Rivers Homestead. She is a family of 10. There's getting ready to be 11th member of her family born any moment now. She started this great challenge. I believe that it originated for the purpose of, depending on where in the country you live, maybe it's hard to get out and take your kids to the store in the coldest months. Whether you are wanting to give your wallet a break to recover from the holidays, or maybe you just want a reset in the new year, which is a little bit of what I'm doing. I'm in the process of decluttering and downsizing anyway. If you've seen my previous video before this one, we set out some retirement goals for 2 years from now. We've got a 2-year time clock going, and we plan to sell our house. I'm downsizing, and that includes my pantry. I've been giving away a lot of stuff in our neighborhood blessing box. Once a week, I gather up things and go put them in there. That is a perfect excuse for me to participate in this challenge, and I'm going to try to do something different in every video. For example, today, I'm just going to focus on using up some of the produce that's at its peak, doing a breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And then maybe in an upcoming video, I might do a day of just living off of my freeze-dried foods that we've preserved over the past couple of years. And then maybe we might do something that's all freezer meals or something that's all pantry meals. I might take you along and show you how I'm going to declutter my pantry. So for breakfast, we are going to have bacon, and I have a friend that gave me a whole lot of meat. I'll show you that later. We're going to have a couple of scrambled eggs, some pineapple we need to use up, and then some of this apple hollow bread that my daughter made. And we have a couple of spreads here, like this cinnamon bun from Trader Joe's. This is a cinnamon honey that my daughter got at a farmer's market. And this came from the Vermont Country Store, and it was an apple jelly. So let's go ahead and fry this bacon up, shall we? Corey and I decided to only have 1 egg each because we weren't aware that the bacon made that much bacon, and it was just the 2 of us eating today. So I just mixed it up, added a little milk, a little Julio's, and then put it back in the pan where I made the bacon. As you saw, I got out most of the grease. I left a little bit in for flavoring. We have a couple of avocados that are way past their prime. I even tried to cut this all pretty, but it was just too mushy, but it still tasted good. Obviously, the purpose of this challenge is to use up what you've got, and I just added a little bit of everything bagel seasoning, and then it was time to plate it up. And I had these pineapples I needed to use. We got them for 97 cents at Kroger. And I loved Chloe's apple pull-apart bread because we're trying to cut back on our sugar, and this wasn't very sweet at all. The blessing box in our area is getting a lot of exposure, which is wonderful, but it's also needing to be replenished more frequently. So I try to make it a habit to go at least once a week, if not more, and drop things off. Last time I was there was not a whole lot of nutritionally dense food. There was a lot of, I don't know, chips and cookies, which I guess are fine, maybe as after school snacks or something, but there were no proteins. So I like to try to supplement and fill in the gaps so people have some choices when they go there. I also like to send things that are ready to open and eat for a couple of reasons. We do have a homeless population growing in our area, and also because of all the crazy weather and hurricanes and power outages that we've been having, it's nice to have some things that you can just get a can opener and open and eat as is if you have to without cooking. Hazel always hears me when I'm in the pantry, and she is obsessed with these Armor sausages for whatever reason, so we always have to have a couple on hand for her and the dogs. Whenever I visit the blessing box, it's usually a little chaotic and disorganized because people pick through it. And I know that it's also across from a middle school. I don't know if the middle schoolers come over and go through it looking for snacks. But either way, I want the people that use this to feel like they can shop from here with dignity. So I try to make it look better than the way I found it, but it usually doesn't last very long if I'm being honest. Starting to rain. Yeah. Oh yeah, it's gonna freeze, so you gotta get your peppers. Are you gonna put these in the soup?
No, I'm probably gonna can these, I think.
So where's the basil?
It's right there. It's all brown and stuff.
There's not any salvageable?
Yeah, not enough.
Corey and I had to go outside and try to figure out which vegetables and fruits we wanted to pick before it froze tonight, or which ones we wanted to just cover up with a tarp. For lunch today, I just decided to heat up some leftovers from last night. We had chimichurri steak and parsley potatoes, which is inspired by my favorite steakhouse that is in our area. And we have this chimichurri sauce, and it's just basically parsley and olive oil, garlic, onion. It is so delicious. And I just like to put it on top of my steak and drizzle some on top of the potatoes as well, even though it already has some of it in there. And then I had this bag of plantains that I got from the restaurant, chimichurris, and we usually make our own, but just didn't have time to, and these were left over from New Year's Eve, so we went ahead and ate these as well. It was delicious. I have a friend that gave us a bunch of meat. She belongs to one of those meal delivery service things, and she gets little individual 2 people serving meats all the time, and sometimes she gets too much because she gets busy and her freezer gets full real quick. So she gives a lot of the stuff to me. We've got things like chicken, little individual servings of bacon like what we had this morning. See what else we have. More bacon. What's that? Sweet Italian sausage. Steaks. This might have been what Corey... No. That's something... Oh, that's a diced beef steak. But he definitely got his steaks from her as well. We've got ground beef. So we will definitely be working our way through a lot of the stuff during the pantry challenge. For tonight's tomato basil soup, I'm going to need a couple of these big cans that we got from Dollar Tree. We are going to make tomato basil soup in the Instapot, and we have made this for our channel before. I'll be sure to leave that video in the description box below. Oh, this is my husband, Corey, by the way.
I only have half a head in every video that she makes.
Every time I try to video him, half his head is cut off. I don't know. How do we adjust it? I'm afraid it's going to mess up.
It's all good.
Anyway, so I think I still have parsley in my teeth from lunch. Anyway, now we were going to use fresh basil from the garden, but it was looking a little bit so we're gonna have to substitute with the next best thing we had on hand, and that's the basil in a tube. So let us show you what the ingredients are and let's get started. So we are going to use 2 cans of 28 ounces of tomatoes. And if you have the smaller cans, that's fine too. You can either use like, what, 4 cans of the smaller ones? The smaller crushed tomatoes?
One big one and 2 of the regular size.
Oh, okay. So you can use crushed, you can use diced. We emulsify it so it's all going to be smooth in the end. It doesn't really matter what kind of tomatoes you use. But we're going to use some of our canned turkey broth. We are going to use some roasted red peppers just to kind of give it a little spicy kick. We have some butter that we're going to add towards the end. And we have some garlic, minced garlic, as Chloe calls jarlic. We're going to use some of the basil paste. And then some of this heavy whipping cream. We'll put that in towards the end as well. And then we're going to throw some seasoning in there. This is a mixture of what, Corey? It's got your
smoked salt, oregano, and garlic seasoning.
Don't you have cumin or something up in there too?
Oh, yeah, there's cumin in
Oh,
there.
yeah, and also I need to get some Italian seasonings, right?
Yeah.
And we will also add some of this Italian seasoning and maybe some of this rustic Tuscan style. So basically you're going to put everything in the Instapot except for the butter and milk, or the heavy cream. We'll do that later on. Doesn't matter what order you put it in, just throw everything in there together. Let's pressure cook for 20 minutes. Once it's done releasing the pressure, then you're going to want to add the heavy whipping cream, which we used 8 ounces. And we also put in about half a stick of butter. You can adjust that or you can leave it out. I'm sure it just kind of makes it more rich and velvety. But now we're going to emulsify it. And I forgot to mention earlier, but you're going to want to add some sugar to offset the acidity of the tomatoes. So I'm going to put about a tablespoon of sugar in here. We usually freeze dry the leftovers or put them in the freezer, but we think we're going to can it this time. I hope that you have enjoyed this video today, and don't forget, if you want to participate in the 3 Rivers Challenge, just do a video pertaining to food preservation or using up what you've got, using leftovers or things out of your pantry or your freezer or your refrigerator or anywhere else. Use the hashtag 3 Rivers Challenge so you can get added to the playlist. Go check out Jessica's videos on 3 Rivers Homestead because they are amazing. It's like life goals. Jessica is the epitome of an awesome trad wife that I long to be just like. Maybe one of these days I can make things from scratch, but she makes it look so easy. And I only have 2 kids and they're full grown, and I can't even imagine how she does what she does with another child on the way. A shout out to her for putting together this challenge, and I look forward to seeing all the other videos coming up. Y'all take care. We'll see you next time. Bye, everyone.